Many of my clients are really hoping that the current turbulent conditions in their industries and their marketplaces are temporary, that they can just hold their breath, suck it in, and in a few years' time, or hopefully a few months' time, everything will go back to normal. Sadly, it isn't going to happen. In fact, the ones that are more awake are realizing that this is the new reality, and that we live in times of disruptive change, turbulence, and maybe even an era shift in history. And the key to that is that the rules for success and failure are being rewritten. The ways in which your organization used to work and the ways in which you were able to get success in the past, well, these are changing. And they're changing very, very quickly. If we're going to be successful then in a time of turbulence, if this is the new reality, then we need to learn adaptability. We need to learn to know what to do when nobody knows what to do in our industries. And that means a shift in our DNA. And DNA is something that we've spent some time having a look at. Our team at Tomorrow Today has done research over the last year into organizational DNA, trying to understand who is successful, what makes them successful, how to succeed in times of turbulence and change. And the reality, the hard reality, is that the organizational DNA that has got you here is probably not good enough to take you any further. And we need a real shift in that. But when you think of DNA, you think of evolution, and that's why we've called this program Re-Evolution. Our ability to evolve and develop. But evolution is something that in our heads takes a long time. It's sort of over centuries of change, slowly, progressively. But actually, evolution can happen very quickly. One of the classic, famous examples of this is from the Arctic wolves. Arctic wolves, by DNA, are programmed to not get anywhere near human beings. They stick to the forests, away from the villages, and then famine comes. A hard winter, the wolves are hungry, and they stand at the edge of the forest looking down at the human camp. And their DNA, their cultural encoding, tells them, you may not go, you can't go. Some of the older wolves are so encoded with that culture that they'd rather starve than go against what they know in their hearts to be true. But yet, younger wolves, driven maybe by that exuberance of youth, driven maybe by the desperation of the need, driven by the fact that maybe the cultural encoding is not as deep and as long in them. They might sniff the wind and smell the food. They might quickly go down to the edge of the camp, grab what they can off of the garbage heap. Maybe emboldened by that, they'll zip into the camp quickly and pull something out a little bit more. That hard winter carries on, and the old wolves literally die, and the young wolves survive. It can happen as quickly as that, because when the new cubs are born, these young wolves say, hey, we can go in and get that food. It's available to us. The cultural encoding can change so quickly if the right circumstances and building blocks are in place. DNA will change over time. Beyond that, a few generations later, those wolves may even end up being domesticated as pets. It can happen if we understand it. And that's what re-evolution is about. It's about understanding what the organizational building blocks of change are. And our research has shown that there are 9 of those. 9 DNA encoding mechanisms that you can use to analyze your organization, to work out whether you are adaptable and ready for this time of turbulence and disruption. And then 9 building blocks that you can build on, not only for your organization and your team, but also for yourself. As you make sure that you are resilient and adaptable and agile and ready to succeed in a time of turbulent change. Re-evolution. 9 DNA building blocks for organizational and personal success in turbulent times. Thank you.